Every single part you see here was purchased from Amazon for $1,116. After tax, it was almost $1,200. It was about $1,186 in my state with a 6% sales tax. So if you have $1,200 to build a gaming PC, this is exactly what I would recommend. Not just because the parts pair very well together and you're going to get great gaming performance, but it's also going to look beautiful. As you can see, we are using a white case. We're going with that aesthetic in today's build. And it all starts with this Intel i5 12600KF. The 12600KF has a faster clock and is cheaper than the 13400F. It is a better chip all around. Don't fall for the newer generation. The MSI B760A Pro Wi-Fi comes with USB-C, 2 USB 3 ports, 2 M.2 ports, and the top M.2 port comes with its own heatsink. This motherboard also has built-in Wi-Fi, Gen 4 support. Just look how beautiful this board is for 150 bucks. One of the most satisfying parts of building a PC is when you get a good breakaway. So satisfying. For the SSD, we are using the Kingston NV2. This is a Gen 4 1TB NVMe drive for $57.99. Keep an eye out for this drive because sometimes it even goes down to the $30 to $40 range on Amazon. This cooler needs no introduction. This is the Thermalright Assassin King, one of the OG budget go-to coolers. This cooler I picked up for $20.99 and it often goes on sale for even cheaper. This part is up to you. I go above and beyond with my builds. I don't want any blue poking out of the build, so I do color them in. So right now we have the cooler brackets laid down, and I didn't color the top of them because you're not going to see the top. But what you will see are the sides, and the sides are colored in black. I don't want any blue sticking out of the build. Now the reason why I'm filming this section right now is because I'm going to put the cooler down without fastening anything, with no thermal paste, just so I can figure out where I want to route these wires, because I need to hide them as best as possible. So let's go ahead and mock fit the cooler, figure out where these need to go, because I might need to route these wires underneath the brackets, so I don't want to have to take it all back apart. So let's find out the best place to put them. Here's a little bit of a better look for you. So the wires are going underneath the heat sink, through the fin stack, right into CPU fan, and the ARGB wire is also going to go, up here behind the motherboard. So all you'll be able to see is just this wire going behind the motherboard. But I mean, come on, that's pretty hidden. So a rule of thumb I've been using for myself, if the build is over $1,000, I'm putting the better thermal paste on it. Cooler is installed. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we did here. So number one, the cooler standoff brackets right there, they're colored black. Normally they'd be blue. You'd see two blue little brackets sticking out there, but those are all colored black, nice and hidden. Also, where is the wire for the fan? That is also totally hidden. There it is right there, going around the heat sink right into CPU fan. But for the most part, it is pretty well hidden. Nice, clean aesthetic. Let's go ahead and get the RAM in. Let's go. This RAM needs no introduction. This is, in my opinion, the best looking DDR4 kit, the T-Force Delta R. You can get away with 3200 megahertz when you're using with Intel, but 3600 is better, and it's like a few bucks more, so might as well go with that. Now before we just go ahead and drop in the motherboard, there's a few things we have to do to this case. Number one, you did see me put that carbon fiber wrap on the fan for the CPU. We're going to do that to these fans. We also are going to heat shrink the USB, the HD audio. We're actually going to completely remove these fans because we have to reorient where the case manufacturer ran the wires because we don't want any wires sticking out in the build. So let's go ahead and do that now. So this PC case actually comes with a nice little sticker on the fan, but we're going to put some carbon fiber on it because it looks a lot better than this plain glossy sticker. And what I was talking about with the wires for the fans, we're not going to keep them routed above here. We're going to put them underneath the motherboard. That way they're not sticking out on the top of your PC and hanging over the I/O ports. We got to change that. And we're going to do the same exact thing for these fans as well. We're going to put some carbon fiber wrap here, here, and we're also actually going to reorient these fans because right now the wires are pointing out the side and I want them pointing down. Number one, if I take this fan and move it down, you're not going to see the wires coming out of here at all. And if I do that to this fan, we'll just have them running down the side and all of those fan wires are going to go to the back of the case down there at the bottom rather than hanging out in your build like this. This is ugly. Why would you want to keep it like that? So let's go ahead and make those changes. We're also going to heat shrink these wires, because these are going to sit at the bottom of your motherboard and that just looks disgusting with all those colors sticking out. So we're going to fix that as well. So as we can see now, the fans have been oriented this way so that the wires are pointing down and they're going to go besides the fan, like on the side down here. Go all the way to the bottom of the PC so you won't see any wires sticking out of this hole. And we did the same thing with this fan. We oriented it so that the wires are going to come off the top and go right behind the motherboard up here. Trust me, it'll look good once the motherboard is installed. So let's go ahead, do a mock fit of the motherboard, figure out exactly where we want to run the cables, and then we will install the motherboard. Let's go! Alright guys, so I've already done a mock fit of the motherboard. I now have these two panels removed because you don't want to do that while the motherboard is in the case. You're going to damage your motherboard. I do have the I/O shield installed. I've got this fan wire taped up here, that way it sits nice and flat while I install the motherboard. And I've also got 3 different wires running over here. I have the main USB 3 wire, which is going to go under the motherboard. I did check there's enough tolerance. I also have the front panel connectors and the main ARGB wire from the hub, which is right back here, feeding through this hole. And these are also going to go under the motherboard and feed right into the bottom corner of the motherboard because those ports, if you can see, there's the front panel and there's the ARGB. So they're just going to flip right underneath the motherboard, go right inside, and then that USB is just going to wrap around right here. So let's go ahead, get her installed, and wrap these wires around and make sure they're nice and clean. So I can't get the lighting perfect for this shot, but if you take a look, I've got the front panel connectors and the ARGB wires ran underneath the motherboard. God, it's so blurry, I can't get the lighting right, but I'll throw a picture up on screen of a better picture so you can see how clean it looks. Nothing is actually coming down through here, it's all underneath the motherboard. Same thing with that wire. Don't worry guys, there's enough room for that wire to fit. It's not being pinched. In fact, I can still move it around. And then also up here on the top left, those wires for the fan are completely underneath the motherboard. I'll have to throw another picture up on the screen so you can see that. But if I didn't move the wires, they'd be hanging through that hole right there, and I don't want any wires in the build. And then look how clean the top of the motherboard is. This is the only wire, the ARGB wire for the fan, that you can semi-see in there going over the motherboard. Look how clean this build is. And not to mention, the graphics card is gonna cover that part of the USB, which is why I ran it that way. So let's go ahead and get the power supply installed. We'll then pop in the graphics card and get this thing turned on. This is the Apivia Prestige 600 watt PSU 80 plus gold. Again, this is a tier C unit for $51.99. If you don't know already, I listen to a lot of Zach's Tech Turfs recommendations, and this is one of them. Big shout out to Zach. So I'm sure you saw it in the intro, but we are using the Asus Dual RTX 4070. Absolutely beautiful card. In fact, this is my first 40 series card ever, and my goodness, she's a beauty. Asia Horse cable extensions are by far a must. It is the biggest aesthetic improvement you can make to any PC is using aftermarket cable extensions. In my opinion, Asia Horse is the best brand I have ever used as far as looks and quality and price. Tell me that doesn't look good. Alright guys, I promise you I am a much better gamer than that, but when I am benchmarking a computer, I am not using my controller. I don't have any optimized controls, but I do get all that fixed in the next video, so be on the lookout for that. Fortnite 1440p, epic settings 86.4, high settings 107.7, not bad for 1440p. For performance mode, we did drop down to 1080p with 100% 3D resolution. We got 291.5 FPS, 90% resolution, we got 304.5. So if you're looking for performance gaming, this will knock it out of the park. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, 1440p high settings, 114.8, and almost double in 1080p at 224.8. Now I did also benchmark Apex Legends. I didn't film it because I've never played this game and I am trash. I don't even know how to play it, but we got 260.7 FPS. We are officially wrapped up with this PC. I cannot believe how amazing this PC turned out. I mean, I can believe it, but I'm just thrilled above and beyond. It is absolutely beautiful. If you're looking to build this PC yourself, I have every single part linked below in the description, and not just the parts, but everything that I used to make this PC look the way it does, including heat shrink, carbon fiber, the tools, the cutouts, all of it is linked below. If you would like to just buy the PC, you can buy it from my website at passwordpcllc.com. Don't worry, you don't have to be the first one to buy it. I have multiple of these for sale. There are other PCs on there as well. I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Make sure to always put God first, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.